Everybody, and welcome to Make It Happen TV. I hope you're keeping well and you're doing all the things you should be doing to be as successful as can be. I have my live guest with me with no technology issues, with no IT problems, with no Wi-Fi issues here. Now I'm back in Dubai, and I took a lot of his time last week and we didn't get it right. So for all of you that asked to get a good understanding and a more time with him and more questions that you could ask, he's joining us today. Fantastic guy. Welcome everybody. Munif Ali, how are you, mate?
Thank you. Doing pretty good the second time around, even better.
Excellent stuff. Okay, so who is Munif Ali? He's the guy that founded an organization called ThinkRuptor. He's an angel investor. He's a VC. He's just an all-round smart guy in the whole world of tech and looking at opportunities. He's invested in many companies. For those of you entrepreneurs out there, these people in startup phase that have got ideas, you're trying to take it forward, people that are trying to build a business and have got challenges that you're facing, guess what? Okay, this guy knows his shit, so he's really worth listening to. If you've got questions, then by all means throw them at us and we'll make sure that Munif can answer those questions for you. But before anything else, I'm going to ask you a few questions to make sure our audience understands some basics, Munif. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Okay. Question number one. What is an angel investor?
It is someone that wants to, that looks at a business, an idea, and sees what potential it has, and then invests their private money, usually their hard-earned funds, into believing in the founder and the product. And, some oftentimes with no recognition, but just a simple belief in the product and the founders.
Does an angel investor generally come from the place of where family members, friends, work colleagues really get involved in believing in somebody's vision more than anything else and are prepared to kind of like gamble a bit or invest a little bit on the hope that that dream becomes a reality?
Well, oftentimes those are your first angel investors, your friends and family and whatnot. But, if people are doing this for a living, they really have, they put their life savings on the line sometimes. But there needs to be a certain amount of net worth for you to start to gamble money on other people's hopes and dreams.
Absolutely. But do you find sometimes maybe, let's say there's a young guy or a young lady, they've got this business that they're starting to get off the ground, they need to raise finance. Is the bank of mum and dad not the best place to go for the easiest source of creating a bit of cash flow for your business and investable funds?
Sometimes it is a good place to go, but it always depends on what you've done. A lot of entrepreneurs they just have it. They've started out with a lemonade stand, and we all know them. They have their ideas, and they want to try a new business concept all the time. So if you've gone to the family bank, so to speak, again and again, that's going to deplete their funds. And sometimes it's not the responsible way to go, especially if your parents or loved ones, or if that's their nest egg and you're asking them to gamble on that over and over again. Sometimes it's not the best way to go.
Okay, so how does an angel investor compare to a venture capital investor?
Angel investors are usually people with their own money, or sometimes a couple of different partners and pool their money together. Venture capitalists go out and raise funds, through private equity, through larger firms, and it's other people's money that they're responsible for. They get, a fee out of it as well. So it's a much larger pool of money as well.
Okay, then how does that then compare with a private equity investor?
A private equity investor is someone that just raises funds internally without going to, let's say, I'm about to go through it right now with one of our products right now, where they just raise money through institutional funds and stuff like that, or they go to people with a whole lot of money and they put a fund together.
Okay.
So different vehicles to use.
So three different types. If I had a startup business, I was looking to raise capital, maybe the private equity avenue wouldn't be for me in the beginning. I'd probably have to start off by using an angel investor. Once I'd built the business to a certain level, it would only be then that the VC guys would be interested in talking to me and taking that further. Would that be fair?
Yeah, that would be absolutely fair. A lot of,
Okay.
gone are the days where, I was saying in the last interview, you could pencil out an idea on a napkin and pitch it somewhere in the world, hopefully, Silicon Valley or something, and someone really believe in your idea and concept and fund it. Now people want to see traction. They want to see monetization and all those kind of things, whereas before it wasn't as important. So getting an angel investor in so that you can at least beta test your product and get it to start, people want to see traction, monetization, and then after that you would take it to a VC to kind of show, hey, this idea really works. Look at how many downloads we have, and what the potential to actually be a profitable company is.
Okay, good point. Right, everybody, if you're out there, I can see a bunch of you that are watching. Come and say hi, please. Come and put a comment in there. Say hi. Let us know that you're here and you're watching. Engage with me. Engage with Munif, and let's chat together. Please feel free to do so. Okay, so you own a business that you started called ThinkRuptor. You've invested in various businesses along the way. We know that about you. When it comes to being an entrepreneur, do you consider yourself an entrepreneur? And how would you describe a genuine entrepreneur in today's day and age, when that word, as far as I'm concerned, is used really loosely way too often?
It is really loosely. I think it's fantasized upon now. It's something very sexy. And, a lot of people use that. An entrepreneur is someone who really, really has a vision and will do whatever it takes to get that product, that idea, that concept, that principle out into the market. And oftentimes they're willing to risk whatever they have to get there. That's really the true sense of an entrepreneur. And it's great because we live in a time and space right now where a lot of people have options through, starting companies, through social media. I mean, there's just so much of a freelance space out there. So a lot more people are becoming quote unquote entrepreneurs, but everybody wants to be an entrepreneur until you start risking your life savings, start firing people and signing leases. And then it gets a lot less romantic after that. So as I'm getting older and more secure, that entrepreneurial spirit in me, though it's there, I'm taking less risks. That's for sure, because I've got mouths to feed.
Okay. Does that mean that you're not going to come up with the next unicorn idea then?
Absolutely, coming up with a new unicorn idea, but now you do it through a network of people. It's more calculated, if you will.
We worked, we chatted on the live here just before we actually went live. You and I communicated, and I learned that you get up early in the morning. You say you get up at 4 o'clock.
Yeah. In my idea, if you don't have a 4 or 5 in front of your clock next to your bed, you're getting up way too late.
Okay, why do you think that?
I think that because everybody has this concept of, I don't have enough friggin' time in my day, and that's the best equality in the world. It's 24 hours given to everyone, whether you're a billionaire or you're broke, right? Whether you're a man, a woman, whatever your sexual orientation is, 24 hours. So if you, instead of complaining about, hey, I don't have enough time in the day, start to rise early, and you pick up another 2-3 hours in your day right away, instantly.
So you get up early so that you can give yourself extra time in the day. Do you find, and what's the Apple CEO, Tim Cook, he gets up really early as well. When you talk to lots of people that are successful in business, they find that getting up 1 or 2 hours earlier gives them time to get stuff done. Richard Branson famously talks about the fact that he gets up in the morning and he does his emails while he's in bed still and his wife's asleep next to him. And then when he goes and does his exercise, he comes back and has a bath. And he says, it's quite funny, because I take phone calls when I'm in the bath to make use of my time, but I have to lay really still so nobody can hear the water in the bath and me splashing around. But it tends to be that lots of successful people try and find more hours in the day. Do you think that the entrepreneurs nowadays and people that are trying to be successful in business don't realize how important it is to be really effective with your time management and use your time wisely?
Absolutely. Time management is a skill. It's a learned behavior. Anybody can learn it. You have to train yourself with incremental changes to get up earlier and earlier. I know that in the UK, you guys just changed your time. I think it's either
the clocks go forward once a year,
right,
and then they go back once a year as well for daylight saving time.
Yeah. This time right now, it's the best time to kind of edge yourself closer to that 4 to 5. And when you have that, you've picked up 2-3 extra hours. Now, mind you, a lot of people have to understand that sometimes as an entrepreneur, you have to sacrifice not only money, but your sleep, your comfort, and all those kind of things to get to where you are. If you get up in the morning, and I know you mentioned a couple of morning routines, you have to set the precedence for the rest of the day. It's the first impression of the day, actually, and having the routines in place, visiting your goals. I mean, if you were following me around, I do a very ritualistic morning where I get up, I do my affirmations, as crazy as it may be to someone else, but getting my mind in the right place. Because not every friggin' morning do you wake up, want to conquer the world. You feel like shit some mornings, and that's what it is. That's what we do as humans. But if you put your mind in that right place early in the morning and then start your morning ritual, I'm a strong proponent of motion creates emotion, basically. And so getting up, getting moving, I go for a short walk. I start to think about what my day is going to be. And instead of waiting for the day to happen to me, I want to take charge and command of my day.
Makes a whole lot of sense. Lots of people out there, when they start to build a business, whether that's in MLM, whether that's as entrepreneurs themselves with their own startup, whether they're working on a commission-only role in a sales business, whether that's a estate agency or car sales or whatever it might be, they go through times that are dark, times that are difficult and times that they really feel lost, and sometimes they get depressed. Have you had those experiences yourself, or has it just been some beautiful gravy train that you've been on all the way through?
I wish. I've failed so many times. I think failure is just part of success. It's not a separate part. They're unified. You have to go through failure to get to success. And I've gone through some really dark moments in my life. I mean, I come from poverty, a single mother who was illiterate, who raised me. And, I never knew what success was for a majority of my life. And then the worst thing is becoming successful, by 30, being financially independent, and then nearly losing that all by 35 taught me a lot of lessons that I really needed to learn as a young man. So I'm happy to have gone through that failure moment. And I continue. I mean, I'll start a venture or I'll invest in something and boom, poof, my money is gone. The founders break up or something like that. It does happen. And you just learn from it. You just get up and you just continue. You hear this stuff about falling forward and learning how to fail. But honestly, it's just if you embrace the thought that failure is just necessary for success, your mind is in the right place. And those dark moments start to lessen.
Yeah, I would completely agree with that. Train your mind to accept you're going to have failure, you're going to have pain, you're going to have rejection, and it's part of the journey, rather than when you get it, it's like when people get a no, it's like, stab to the heart. Now, what's one of the interesting things I've learned about you is that you've invested in real estate, and real estate was where you made some money, and also real estate was where you nearly lost everything when the crash came.
Absolutely, yes.
Now, this is quite an interesting thing, because lots of people believe that real estate is the safe investment. They believe that bricks and mortar is the safe investment, and everything else after that carries more risk. They understand it better because they live in it. They can feel it. They can touch it. They can smell it, everything else. So you had an experience where you nearly lost everything because of being in that one particular market. Had you been more diversified at that time rather than exposed so heavily to that area, would that have been a wiser decision to make?
In hindsight,
of course,
in hindsight, being absolutely crystal clear in 2020, I over leveraged myself is more about what it is. There was a huge bubble at the time, and there was a lot of millionaires being made at the time in the LA market, in the California market, and all across the US. Banks were, dishing out money. And so all I did was I continued to over leverage. I depended on a lot of construction loans and stuff like that. And when the collapse happened, all those loans got pulled back, and just being over leveraged. So I think that diversifying is great. You know, although sometimes even that is not the best insulator. I loved real estate because real estate was the mechanism that took my single mom, you know, to wealth. And, you know, I was explaining on the last show that she was making $2.75 an hour when she first started working, and she saved money and did it the right way. Well, I did it in a way that was much faster than her by over leveraging, by pulling loans, by pulling construction loans, doing all those kind of things. And I really didn't have a role model in real estate when I started to do condo conversions. And I think just not protecting yourself. You know, I'm kind of a bull in a china shop, so there was a lot of broken plates all over the floor after the crash was done. So in hindsight, I think I would have packaged a few plates up for the rainy day.
Now, when that happened to you, though, you must have become pretty desperate at the time, though. You must have thought that your world was collapsing around you. It must have taken you to a dark place.
Yeah, I went through the darkest moments of my life, going from being worth multiple millions of dollars to, you know, and having the life you would expect for a 30-year-old man to have that has access to money. I wasn't living beyond my means. I was just putting it back into the one product that I knew. So you haven't gone through anything. You know, the feasting part is really easy. There's plenty of food on the table. There's plenty for everyone. You invite as many people to the table, and you've got a lot of friends around. But it's the famine. The famine is what really makes you. And, you know, you'll find that during the famine, all your friends and family or people that might have depended on you for money, for a lifestyle, all those kind of things really start to strain. And not only do you find out a lot about yourself, but your support structure and the systems. So those people that are with you through the famine are really the ones that are there to support you in anything. You know, if they're there for you, they're there for you through thick and thin. And so I learned that about people, and I learned that about myself. I went through depression. I went through woe's me. And like I said, you know, once you have the sweet spot, it's even more painful to have that taken away than not having it all, not knowing.
In the first place, yeah, I understand that. But, okay, hold on, we've got some questions here. Let me just throw them at you. Hi, Nicola, how are you? Guys that are out there, please come and say hi. I can see there's a whole bunch of you watching. Come and say hi. Hi, Brad. Hi, Nicola, how are you? Let's ask Nicola's question. She's in Spain at the moment. I'll show it up on the screen. Okay, what good personal development books or teachers have you read and followed? Okay, can you see that?
Yeah, I listen to a lot of audiobooks now. I have a pretty full library. I love Brian Tracy because he's very simple. He's very simple. He doesn't fucking charge you $3,000 for some system to go out there and learn. He's very to the point, and I like his teachings. And I've read a couple of his books earlier on. I like Brian Tracy, especially Eat the Frog.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so Brian Tracy, is there any other authors out there that you're into, or has it been pretty much him as your kind of leader?
You know, I more so, you know, I go through phases, and I'm sure a lot of readers do. It's whatever I want to. Right now, I'm like eating and sleeping marketing books and finding out, you know, the online strategies that make business,
frozen.
You know, tick. There's another book. I believe it's called Bold. It's another one of the books that I really like. I can't remember the author off the top of my head.
Frozen.
No, it's working.
No, okay. I can't see him. He's frozen.
But definitely Brian Tracy being
Hold on, Munif. Guys, if you can hear me, bear with me a second. We've just got Munif is frozen. You there? I can see him there.
Yeah, it's working. Nothing. No problem at all.
Okay, fine.
It's just probably a browser thing, but I'm watching it.
Okay, but I can't hear him.
I'm not.
No, I can't hear him.
Can you hear me?
So he's frozen. Bear with us a second, guys. Bear with us. He's literally frozen.
Okay, I think I lost him, but I'm not sure. No, he's back up, but he's frozen now. We're freezing each other.
If 1 second, guys, so I need to be able to hear him. 1 sec.
should do the refresh because if we do that.
Yeah, I know he's not frozen, but he's. I can't hear him, and I need to be able to hear him. So bear with us a sec. Hold on a minute. If we can hear him there, can I plug him into here? Yeah. Bear with me a second, guys. We're freezing each other. Okay, one sec.
I know the viewers.
Here. Okay. So if I go to here.
Oh, don't do that. Let me just refresh. Okay, bear with us.
Bear with us, guys. Just going to refresh.
Just wait up.
Munif can't hear me.
I can hear you now.
Oh, you can hear me? Yes. Okay, good. Excellent stuff. Okay, we've got loads of questions coming in here. Good. So just apologies for that, guys. A little technical. I don't know why Munif froze. We were all fine. And on all of the other devices, apart from my device, we could see him and hear him. Okay, let's just go through some more questions here and get everyone else involved here, Munif, for a second.
I tend to freeze up a little bit. It's nearly 70 degrees. That's really chilly here in LA, so I'm sorry.
So Zoe has commented here. It's a very valuable lesson to learn from your true friends when she was talking about being in the lean times and the dark times, knowing the people that are there. Okay, Corey Jackson saying hi, saying nice tie. Who else have we got? Nicola, did that question answer everything for you? I know you said everything's great. Okay, Saritza, okay, can you hear us loud and clear now? And if you can, that's fantastic. Guys, come and join us. More questions, more points, anything you want to ask Munif while we've got him here. I think it's really important that you do so. Come and say hi. Okay, tell us about ThinkRuptor.
So ThinkRuptor is a concept, part of when we're developing some apps out there and stuff like that, we kind of got stuck, at various points. And what I wanted to do is showcase what successful people around the globe, and I really say around the globe because now the world is so much smaller and there are brilliant minds that may not have the access that we do in some of our Western countries to incubators, accelerators, or even information from people who are crushing it out there. And so we wanted to go and find ThinkRuptor. It's a trademark term. We wanted to make sure we got that because a ThinkRuptor is someone who logically thinks about how to change something from a status quo style of whether it's just a business or a concept or an idea and wants to move the world forward. And I believe that technology moves society's thinking patterns forward. Like last show I was mentioning, every time there's a great invention, all of a sudden we kind of, as a society, address it by moving in that direction. For example, the world, that filament of privacy is a little bit gone because of Uber and Airbnb and all those kind of things. So it's an example of how a ThinkRuptive thought has changed the way society addresses privacy alone. So we want to go out there and open it up and find the world's ThinkRuptors out there, a borderless approach to finding magnificent minds and great teams and great products. And we want to showcase the nuts and bolts of it. Because I got tired of reading magazine articles in other magazines where it was like pie in the sky. Yeah, this guy just, or this lady just is crushing it. And they were just born with born to be a great leader and a great CEO. And I'm not sure what just happened here.
We've got you. I'm loud and clear. I can see you.
We wanted to really showcase the nuts and bolts. Well, what is their morning routine? How did they get funded? What failures have they had? We want to show the human side of everyone. And if you're a successful person, you've definitely gone through failure, depression, and questioned yourself. And so we want to really find that, because showing that to people that are up and coming or already entrepreneurs really helps the entrepreneur out. So that's what
good.
ThinkRuptor is, and in a little bit we'll have a incubator that's online that everybody in the world has access to, and basically takes courses online, tries their product out, can reach out to experts, really making a community out there. And then what we want to do is have a accelerator program where the people that graduate from there come here to Los Angeles, go through a mini boot camp accelerator, really short and intense, with coaching, with legal assistance and all that. And then at the last part of it, we'll break them down into teams. They're all living in one location, and then there's a contest basically. And at the end, an investor, they pitch to investors, and they get to choose what investors they're going to get their product up with. So it's kind of like a Voice meets The Apprentice type of an end to it at the end part.
Cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Munif, what motivates you?
I think the number one thing is I want to die on empty, if that makes sense. I'm always motivated to reach my highest potential. I believe that in other times of my life, I just didn't do as much, or didn't do things to leave a legacy. I want to really leave a legacy behind.
And then that gets you up every day and gets you energized. Is that enough?
That is enough, because I visit my goals daily, so my goals can visit me daily. I get up. The first thing I see, it's like a huge wall in my bedroom. It's covered with places I want to go, people I want to meet, things I want to do. And so the moment my feet hit that floor, I look up and there's a vision board of everything that I want. There's a huge whiteboard. I write down everything. And I find that if I don't have that kind of linear focus and approach to it, my day is screwed. I start watching TV and screwing around. So just like everybody else. So I need that kind of focus and the affirmations and all the other things that I do. So it keeps me focused, honestly.
Okay, good. Nicola's got something else she's posted here. Fantastic info. I'd like to share my idea with a professional who covers new business ventures structure before I launch my new business. Mine is for humanity moving forward. So thank you for that. Let's have a look what else we've got here. Zoe, when you felt it, you lost it all. How did you get back on track, and what was your main motivator? What did you free on for inspiration? What did you feed on maybe for inspiration when you lost it all? I'll give you an example of Zoe's situation so you can understand her. So Zoe was in financial services sales in the UAE. She became successful in financial services sales. She was on essentially a commission-only driven structure. She became disillusioned with the industry, and now she's gone into multi-level marketing, and she works with an organization called Forever Living, which is a big organization. And there are some dark times that these types of people have, because they're brave enough to walk away from a good income. Okay, brave enough to do that and to step into doing something that they want to do more. But it can lead you to some really dark moments, because you doubt yourself, where you've been in an industry where you know what you're doing and it's kind of easy by comparison. Then you have to go and build something from scratch again. It can really fill you with lots of fear and dread.
Courage is a big deal. And what I did to reinvent myself after those losses and after being in the darkness is I started to look at what gifts I really have, what got me to the Midas touch. What was it? What elements of that? What did I learn from my mom? What did I learn from my upbringing? What things really enhanced my approach to become successful at such an early age? I mean, I bought my first home when I was 20 and a half, and I remember watering the lawn in a nice neighborhood, and one of the neighbors coming up to me and asking me, "I've never seen your parents. Where are they?" And I said, "They work a lot." And I just kept, I think she just couldn't put it together that I was the owner. It happened so quickly, I never really had time to say, how did I get there? And in those moments of darkness, and one of the things I want every entrepreneur, an aspiring person to embrace is solitude. So in those moments of darkness, I spent a lot of time alone creating what I call my coaching program now. It's called Power Habits. And I journaled everything from getting up early. I've always been an early riser, to visiting my goals. And I stopped doing all that because, hey, it was the feast and I was enjoying myself. And so I got away from those basic principles and I started to really journal. And it was a set of 5 ideas or concepts in my life that I had used to get to where I was. And so I formulated those and I used my same power habits to get back into success, to get back into focus, to get back into the grind, and just really build myself up from there. So going back to the basics is really important. And no matter how, if you think about it, a professional swimmer, the best one in the Olympics, Michael Phelps, you think he practices crazy exercises? No, he goes back into the pool every single day and goes back to the basic strokes again and again. And so going back to the basics, there's no advanced idea to success. It's really internal. And so you have to go back to it. So that's what Power Habits is. If you're interested, I'm not pitching a salesy, thing. I really want to give back to the world. And in my coaching program, Power Habits, it's going to be 100% given back to charity. I really want to help create not only entrepreneurs, but strong individuals who know that they have the great habits internalized. There's no secret. Yeah.
Okay, let's go on. We've got some more questions, man. They're coming in. Julian Carnell. Okay, Julian, how you doing, buddy? Nice to see you. Do you work with a leadership team, advisors, or do you work more independently?
That's another learning thing. I was small mom and pop, even though I had nearly 100 buildings and investments and stuff out there. I was just working with an assistant and, a mortgage person, a real estate guy. But what I learned was that I needed to be able to not replicate myself, but leverage myself. And I surrounded myself with people who really saw my vision. That was absolutely critical. They see the vision even when others think you're completely delusional and blind. You have to surround yourself with a team of people that can catapult you forward. And if you walk into a room and you don't have support, I feel like I'm completely without my team members. And so right now, even though you're hearing me speak, my team members are off to the side to make sure that everything is happening greatly. As far as advisors are concerned, I do have a few. Someone that I look up to, people that are at a higher level than myself, so I can stretch myself beyond my comfort zone and get to those levels.
Okay, good answer. Thanks for that question, Julian. Okay, what on here? Brad, what motivates you, Spencer? Thanks, Brad. I'm completely motivated 100% in trying to help people grow. I'm fascinated with why people are where they are, why they're doing what they're doing, and why they're not achieving what they should be achieving or what they could be achieving. Most people on this planet just exist, and their subconscious controls their mind, and their focus is to do as little as possible for as much as possible, and invariably that leads to nothing. So for me, it's trying to help people go from where they are today and try to help them look forward to what they could possibly achieve and create solutions to get them there, and then to motivate and inspire and educate and do the system that I have, which is your teach, monitor, measure system. That really buzzes me up. There's some videos on YouTube where I've taken some companies and some businesses and I've helped those people really grow. And there's nothing more exciting and rewarding than sitting down with people at the beginning of their journey, but then getting into their journey with them and see them engaging, understanding, buying in, taking action, and then getting results. It's just a massive buzz for me. So in simple, that's my answer. Okay, what else have we got here? We've got more questions coming through. There was another question here. Let me just get that other one out. Okay. Okay. In your experience, then, this one is for you, Munif. Okay. Do you think business coaches are useful? Okay. Did you have a coach? Did you employ a coach, or was it a mentor? Was it a life coach, if anything?
I've gone through various transitions in business. Obviously, when I lost it all, I didn't have a coach other than reading profusely. I had a mentor but they were in another business. I do absolutely believe in coaches. If you think about it, and you know this for sure, Spencer, is that every great athlete has to have a coach. So let's say Michael Jordan, for example, here in the U.S., legendary basketball player. But if it wasn't for coaching and daily review and someone pushing you forward when you need to be pushed forward, you never really get to greatness. So I absolutely do believe in coaching. At some periods of your life, you may not be able to really afford it, but you'll find that it's an investment in you, someone to hold you accountable. Do your due diligence on who you're going to pick and pay and all those kind of things. But coaching doesn't have to cost money as well. You can get someone that really, really loves you, that is really focused on what you want to build, and have them hold you accountable. It can start with simple conversations. I'm supposed to call 10 VCs a day. And then, hey, I screwed up, and have that other person hold you accountable as to how. It lets you search for answers for yourself and stuff like that. So coaching doesn't have to cost thousands of dollars. If you don't have the budget, find an accountability coach or a partner, find a really good book. You can plug into so many different communities and mentorships and stuff like that out there. And then when you really have the money to invest it back in yourself by getting a good, strong business coach.
Great answer. Great answer. I couldn't agree with you more. Okay, question from Danielle Canty. Danielle's a bit of a firecracker. This girl is a really successful chiropractor that started to build businesses. She's really smart. So her question is, Munif, I loved what you said about surrounding yourself with people who share your vision. I haven't always found this easy. Any tips?
Oddly enough, and you won't believe it, I make speeches, I connect with people, I do all those things, but generally speaking, my personality is I'm an introvert. And so I'm not the guy to go to the party and start to meet people, but I know that that's an aspect of skills.
Liar.
No, honestly.
No, I know, I get that.
People will tell you that. But I know that it's a skill set that I have to have in order to build great businesses. So I go to networking events, and often my team will push and prod me to go to some of these. And every experience I've ever had has always been positive. I'll go there and meet people. That's one way, is really networking. Now notice I said networking, not working. There's a big difference. You're going to a networking event or a party for the absolute vision of meeting as many people as possible to that's going to connect you and help you with your goals. So you go there, you engage in conversation, you really get to know people, and you start a sphere of influence with people. The more people you have in your database, the better it is for you. It's your data bank, really, and it starts to really build. And spread the news. Don't be ashamed to talk about what your vision is, and ask people, do you know someone? No matter what business you're in, do you know someone that might be interested in working for my company? And then really going very strongly into taking a bona fide approach, a systematic approach to hiring people. And if they don't fit, you have to quickly fire them. So slow to hire, quick to fire is really important as far as building a team.
Okay, good. Danielle, so hopefully that answers your question, hun. Okay, question from Teresa. So Teresa Max says, what, if anything, in your early life inspired you or made you what you are? I think that comes back down what you talked about earlier about your mum, isn't it? I think she was a big inspiration for you.
I owe everything to Wonder Woman. And Wonder Woman happened to be, my mom. And in this case, if I could regurgitate some stuff from the first interview, my mom was a homemaker, depended on someone else for income, my father. When he left, there's a huge income void. She had to move from middle income to no income or low income into the projects. And that really showed me that she didn't have the connections. We just talked about networking. Hell, she didn't even know anybody. She didn't have command of the language. She's from the South Pacific. She didn't have any access monetary funds or any of those kind of things. Her business was to ensure that her kids had a roof over her head. So I watched someone that had no resources become resourceful. And so she was able to work odd jobs, started investing in real estate, though we were in the projects, we moved into a home in the same neighborhood. Then 3 years later, she was able to buy another home and develop property. So that was my real inspiration. I mean, everything, like I said last time, I learned about being a man was from a woman, and she was hell-bent and delusional on providing something to her kids. And that was the most inspired moment. I still look back at it. And speaking of the darkness, when I was going through my losses and my failure, I just kept saying, my mom didn't pull me out of poverty and the environment so that I can lose. And I kept saying that and moving forward. So I hope that helps, Teresa.
Okay, great question. Great answer. Well, interestingly, for those of you ladies out there that have got young children, look at that relationship that Munif has with his mum. That's the kind of relationship that you're fostering with your children as well. And one day in the future, they're going to see you as their inspiration. So make sure that you remember that no matter what you do, be as inspiring as you can. Okay, one more question we'll take from Nicola. Okay, let's get this one up. Nicola says, how do you get your vision and how do you read future trends and necessities with the change of the times?
Oh, no matter what your, let's say it's Bitcoins, for example, it's really, really hot right now, Bitcoins and different type of currencies and stuff like that. Whatever you want to go into, become a student first of that. And then really absorb everything out there. Read books. I don't think people read enough. That's predominantly the problem. I think we have access to information on the internet. We'll watch videos and stuff like that, but really absorb yourself, not only watching videos and speeches and TED Talks, but all the varying degrees of media that are out there. Read a magazine, read books on the subject, really become an expert. And we live in nearly the greatest time in human history where information is so much, there's almost too much. So fill your brain up as much as possible, and you'll start to see trends. Because if you become a student, you really start to see trends forming. Like right now, we know that AI is super hot right now, artificial intelligence and VR, virtual reality is very, very hot. We'll find out everything about it and then sit in a little bit of solitude and see how your brain starts firing out ideas. Now, look, everybody gets an idea. We've all thought of millions of ideas, and then we watch other people do it. But implement those ideas. Go out there and really find a way to create your own trend.
Okay, really good answer. Hopefully that's answered the question for you, Nicola. Teresa, Nicola, Brad, Danielle, Zoe, Julian, everybody else out there that's been watching and joining in. Hopefully you have found some great answers this afternoon from Munif. He's obviously got a world of knowledge. He's got up at the crack of dawn this morning to make sure that he could come and join us on this live broadcast. And he looks as fresh as a daisy, which most people would be disappointed with, to be honest with you. But hey, Munif, thank you so much. To everybody out there, I hope you've enjoyed it. Munif, I appreciate you taking your time today to talk to us and talk to my audience. Anybody got any other questions, please send them across to us. I'll make sure I'll forward them on to Munif and he can get back to you. And if you want to get hold of Munif directly and you want to communicate with him yourself, how can they get hold of you?
You can go directly to ThinkRuptor.com and you can email me at munif@ThinkRuptor.com. You can get me there. You can also go to PowerHabits.com. To those places, you can reach me. And I'm also on LinkedIn. Okay, good stuff. All right, guys, if you want to reach out to him, by all means do so. Let him know that you've watched him through this channel, and I'm sure he'll do anything he can to try and help out in any way he can. Any plans to come over to the Middle East and have a look at Dubai anytime in the future? Absolutely. I'm always thinking I love traveling. I would love to come over to Dubai and check you out and see you, and really make sure if you're waking up at 4 o'clock. I can assure you I do. Okay, guys, thank you very much indeed for watching. Munif, thanks for your time. We'll take care. See you soon. Bye, guys. Bye.